If you've played any game in the Smash Bros series, you've probably experienced that each of the characters has a variety of different alternate costumes to choose from, ranging from some that look completely weird on the fighter to some that look downright amazing. And it's because of the passion that I have for examining the origins of these costumes that I try to give the treatment of having great outfits to every character introduced in Smash 64 and Melee in previous videos. And it's safe to say that a lot of you really enjoyed them, and tons of comments were requesting for another episode about this topic, so I'm gonna try to deliver. What if every fighter in Smash Ultimate introduced back in Brawl got 4 more alternate costumes, potentially as downloadable content for the game? Once again, I took a bunch of your suggestions for this time around, and if you have any for a future episode, consider leaving them down in a comment below. And also consider subscribing if you're a fan of the channel and want to make sure you don't miss new videos when I release them. And with all that being said, let's get started. Let's begin with the first character introduced in Brawl, with this being Meta Knight. Now back in the Brawl days, we gotta admit, Meta Knight didn't have the best relationship with the Smash Bros fanbase, but as he's gotten balanced more over the years, fans have started to love this character more and more. But before we craft any new ults for Meta Knight, I think it's best that we examine his current outfits to see what's referenced already, what still needs to be referenced, and to try not to duplicate many colors for some variety. Aside from his default look, the first 3 are based on alternate looks from Kirby Air Ride, with these being the white outfit, the red outfit, and this green outfit, which I'm not too high on. Next up is a black ult with a red cape that resembles his appearance from Kirby's Adventure, but with red eyes in this case. Now the pink outfit up next could be another reference to a look from Kirby Air Ride, but it may just be inspired by Kirby's regular pink look. Following that is another white ult, this time being based on the Galactonite, a powerful recurring boss in the series. And finally we have an ult based on Dark Meta Knight, the mirror world counterpart to Meta Knight. There's some nice looks here, but with all those being now gone over, what should still be referenced? First up, I'd really like there to be an ult based on Morpho Knight, a boss in Kirby Star Allies. This would change Meta Knight's mask to a red color with yellow shoes, and orange on the sword and cape to reference the orange on the wings. This would be a nice modern reference to have. Next, I think it would be interesting to get an ult based on Trident Knight, which is an enemy from the series debuting in Kirby's Adventure. This would make his mask purple with red shoes and a golden sword to reference the golden trident. Up next, we're gonna have one that'll just simply look really cool, being a golden ult based off of the Parallel Knight from Kirby Star Allies. Not too much color variety in this one, just a simple and awesome look. And for the final ult, we're not going to continue with this night theme, as I think 3 is enough. One of the 2 inspirations for the pink ult was Kirby, so I think we got to give him one based off of Dedede, right? He's the only other Kirby character in Smash, so I think one with a mix of the orange, red, yellow, blue, and beige colors that make Dedede stand out would work well on Meta Knight. It'll be a unique look. Now we are covering Dedede in this video, but before we get to him, I think we gotta talk about Pit, the second character introduced in Brawl. But how does the first Kid Icarus representative in Smash fare in the ult department? Well, let's find out. Aside from the default, the first new ult is this yellow one, which appears to be an original creation for Smash. The red ult resembles Pit's look after obtaining a golden arrow and level 4 strength in the original Kid Icarus. Next is the green ult, which resembles Pit's look after obtaining the bronze arrow and reaching level 2 strength in Kid Icarus. The blue ult is based on his look after obtaining the sacred arrow and reaching level 5 strength in Kid Icarus. The black ult was officially classified as the Fallen Angel ult when it was included in Brawl, and actually served as an inspiration for Dark Pit in Kid Icarus Uprising, which is pretty cool. The white ult with blonde hair resembles a Puto, a prominent depiction of an angel. And finally, there's the pink ult, which is a combination of 2 different ults that were included for Pit in Smash 4. So there were definitely some cool looks in there with some interesting inspirations, but a lot of them were created before the release of Kid Icarus Uprising. So for these newer looks, I think it would be a good idea to take a lot of inspiration from there. The first new one I want to add here is Sacred Treasures Pit from Uprising. I'm going with a color swap here, making him golden colored with navy blue as well. This could technically be a new rendered ult, but with all of the add-ons, it might make his model a little too different from the current one for hitboxes and the like. Following that is going to be a really nice looking light blue and purple ult, which is to be based on Amazon Pandora, the true form of the goddess of calamity. And next we're going to have a gray, blue, and black ult based on Magnus, a character who serves as an ally to Pit in chapters 2 and 18 in Uprising. And finally, we're getting away from the Uprising theme here just to give him an ult based on classic Pit. There would be a lot of similarity to the default look of Pit in Smash here, with the main change being the armbands going to a darker green color, but I feel this nice inspiration justifies that. Next up, we have Zero Suit Samus. Let's see what they gave her for a selection of ults. The first costume is dark blue, and it resembles the Zero Suit at the end of Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Next is the red outfit, which resembles the iconic look of Samus at the end of the original Metroid. The black outfit resembles her look at the end of Super Metroid. The yellow and green outfit appears to be an original for Smash. Following that, the white suit resembles an outfit from one of Metroid Fusion's endings. The orange outfit and shorts is the casual outfit from the end of Zero Mission. And finally, the blue shorts outfit resembles the casual outfit from one of the endings of Metroid Fusion. For the first new one, I want to create a green and black one based on the military dress from Metroid Other M. This is another pretty memorable look of Samus without her suit, so it makes sense to include. Following that, we're going to have an orange colored outfit to resemble the parka, an orange outfit that Samus wore at just 3 years old. Next is a pretty memorable look, being what's commonly referred to as the Justin Bailey suit. This comes from a password that needed to be entered in Metroid to use the outfit in the second best ending in the game. The green hair would definitely make it stand out more from the current outfits available. And finally, we're going to have another version of the casual outfit, but with this time being black shorts to reference Samus's black outfit at the end of Super Metroid. Up next, we have Wario, representing his own series of games as evidenced by his main look being based off of WarioWare, with only his second alt being based on the much more iconic look from the Mario and Wario Land series of games. The rest of the alts alternate between those two main styles, just changing the color, with a black and red one representing his Player 1 appearance in WarioWare Mega Party games. The classic red look is based on the look of Mario, and also potentially one of his colorations in Mario Golf. The yellow and black alt resembles his Player 3 appearance in WarioWare Mega Party games. The classic blue and pink is based on Mario's appearance in the Japanese box art from Mario Brothers. Next up is the green alt, which resembles his Player 4 appearance in WarioWare Mega Party games. And finally, there's the classic green alt, which could be based on Mario's appearance in the Japanese box art for Wrecking Crew, but also Luigi's appearance on the arcade version of Mario Brothers. There's some nice alts here, and with my new choices, I'm gonna stick with the theme of 2 WarioWare outfits and 2 in the classic style. I think that's fair. First up in the WarioWare style, we're gonna have an alt based on Ashley. Now I know we already have 2 alts with red in them, but this one would be slightly different because of the red being in the shirt and with the orange jacket and black pants. It makes so much sense to reference this character that I feel that if I left it out, I would be doing a disservice to the fanbase. Going back to the classic style here, and I'd really like one to be based on the look of Vampire Wario in Wario Land 3. The main feature taken from this would be the purple face, but I think the colors of the cape should be implemented slightly into the clothing as well, so that it doesn't look too close to the regular classic look of Wario. Back to WarioWare, and I think it would be really cool to get an alt based on Dribble, a character who's been around the series since the beginning and is a pretty memorable one amongst fans. This would be a nice orange and blue coloration. And finally, another classic look, this time being based on Waluigi's coloration. This one is so obvious since they're partners in crime and have been for a long time now. I just don't understand why he doesn't have one already, considering that Mario and Luigi do, but if he got one in the form of downloadable content, I wouldn't be complaining. Moving on to the first third-party character ever included in Smash, with this being Snake from Metal Gear. His main ult is based on the sneaking suit from Metal Gear Solid 2, but what about the rest of them? Well, the pitch black ult is based on the metal camouflage from Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, and the rest of them, yeah, they all kind of reference the different camouflages from Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, with the red alt resembling the fire camouflage, the light blue one resembling the water camouflage, the green one being based on the tiger stripe camouflage, the white one being based on the splitter camouflage, the yellow greenish one being based on the leaf camouflage, and finally the brown one resembling the animals camouflage. Not too much variety with the inspirations here, but we'll try to craft some new alts. The first new alt idea that I have here is based on Venom Snake, with this being mostly camo green and black colors, along with the red glove and eye patch being the main new features. This one was highly requested by many in the community. Following that, we have an alt based on Old Snake. This would make his hair gray, he'd have the eye patch again, his chest protector would be silver, and most of the rest of his outfit would be black. This would be a cool and unique look for him. Next, I think that if he's not going to be a fighter, it would be cool to get an alt based on Big Boss. This one would be pretty similar to the current black outfit, but instead he would have a green vest and the eye patch, so it makes a lot of sense to include this to me. And finally, I'd like an alt based on the look of Snake in Metal Gear Solid 1. This one would be slightly different as it's more purple along with the standard gray and black. I think that if we're continuing to reference the newer games and styles, we should at least get a callback to the original. The next character today is Ike, who was given appearances in Smash Ultimate based on both Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn this time around. Kind of like how Wario was split between 2 different styles. This is because in Brawl, all of Ike's looks were based on Path of Radiance, and for Smash 4, they were based on the newer release at the time, which was Radiant Dawn. And I'm pretty glad that they brought back both. Aside from the 2 default looks, the first new alt is the purple and red Path of Radiance alt, which appears to be an original for Smash. Next, the red alt seems to be based on the look of the armored enemy units in Radiant Dawn. Following that is a yellow outfit, which resembles Griel, Ike's father. The green Radiant Dawn outfit actually resembles Jeffrey's appearance in Path of Radiance. One of my favorites is up next, with this being the blue and white Path of Radiance outfit, which resembles Sigurd, one of the protagonists in Genealogy of the Holy War. And finally, the black alt resembles the Black Knight, Ike's main rival. So for some new alts, the first one that I really want to add here is a Path of Radiance styled look, with this one being based on the resplendent outfit colors. The inside of the cape is going to be white and light blue, with the outside being red. Gold and black armor and everything about it, it looks really cool overall. Next, we're going to be going to the Radiant Dawn style, and this one's going to be in the color coloration of the legendary Ike outfit. This one has a brown cape, blue armor, and white pants. Following that is a Path of Radiance ult based on the character Jill from the game, who's also an armored unit. I mainly chose her to give him the pink armor and the red hair though, because I thought it would be a pretty unique standout ult, and those are good in a DLC role. And finally, the last one is going to be a Radiant Dawn ult being based on Brave Ike. I debated on including this because of the similarities with the current yellow ult, but I feel the inspiration justifies it, and it's still slightly different. Moving on to a big one here, with this being Pokémon Trainer. I'm going to do this one a little bit differently because aside from the fact that they all don't have a down special, these guys are pretty much full-fledged fighters on their own. But despite this, their ults do bear some similarities to one another in terms of an overall coherent theme. So I'm going to be going over them all in batches. I'll talk about the trainer itself, Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Charizard all separately, but then I'll move on to the next group of 4. I'm sure you'll catch on in a second if that's unclear. The default grouping is pretty self-explanatory, with the main character being based on Red, the protagonist of the Gen 1 Pokemon games, with the default looks for the 3 Pokemon. The second batch has the female trainer being based on Leaf, who's the trainer option in Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, giving 2 slots already to the Kanto-based games. Squirtle's coloration here is based on Wartortle, its first evolved form. Ivysaur resembles its in-battle sprite from Gold, Silver, and Crystal, and Charizard resembles the coloration of Charmeleon, its pre-evolved form. A couple of themes present here are the middle evolutions of a 3-stage line, and to a lesser extent the colors of red, blue, and green to reference the first generation's game's colors. The next batch stars Ethan from Gen 2 as the male trainer, with Squirtle bearing a slight resemblance to its shiny, Ivysaur resembling the monochrome style of the Gen 1 Pokemon game sprites, and Charizard's, which is an original to Smash. There isn't much of an overall theme here other than the Pokemon being somewhat green, and shiny Squirtle definitely fits in with the Gen 2 trainer since that gen first introduced shinies. Moving on to batch 4, where May, the female protagonist of Gen 3 and her design from Pokemon Emerald, is the trainer in question. The 3 Pokemon unfortunately don't seem to have any inspiration behind their looks though, as they all just have a general theme of getting lighter. The following batch has the male trainer resemble Lucas from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Squirtle's coloration here is based on its in-battle sprite from Gen 2, which is pretty odd for the Gen 4 trainer, but okay. Ivysaur resembles its shiny coloration, which is pretty cool, and Charizard resembles the shinies of Charmander and Charmeleon. This would have definitely made a lot more sense being the Gen 2 grouping since 2 are based on shinies this time, but hey, at least there's some inspiration. Next up is the Gen 5 grouping with Hilda, the female protag from Pokemon Black and White, being the trainer in question here. Squirtle's shell and belly turn white and silver here, which doesn't particularly reference anything on its own, but it contributes to the overall greater theme. Ivysaur gets a white bulb here, which can be thought of as a reference to its in-battle sprite from Red and Green, but I think it contributes overall to the greater theme here as well. Charizard is also white and gray, which again isn't a specific reference, but the theme out of all 3 seems to be gaining white to their color scheme, which could be a reference to Pokemon White, which is pretty cool. And what many may not realize is that this theme kinda continues going forward. The 7th batch contains Callum, the male protagonist from Pokemon X and Y. I think the choice to give him tan skin here was intentional too, because Gen 6 was the first time that you could actually customize what your trainer looked like, which is a great addition. And this all obviously showcases that very well. And all 3 of Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Charizard gain the blue color prominently, which seems to be a reference overall to Xerneas and the blue branding of Pokemon X version. The final batch here is based off of Gen 7, with the female trainer resembling Celine's appearance in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I really like this design as it goes well with the tropical theme of the region. The 3 Pokemon again all collectively reference one of the game's versions here, with all of them gaining the color purple as a reference to Moon and Ultra Moon. The purple that Charizard gets specifically may also be a reference to its original shiny coloration, which is a nice combination of 2 references at once. So yeah, there were a ton of ults here, many with references and many with not. But it's Pokemon, so there's usually a ton to pull from, and let's see what we can do here. I'm going to continue with the theme of 2 male and 2 female alts for the trainers, and for the first batch and the first of the male trainers, I'm going with the male protagonist from Gen 8. Victor will change the color of one of the trainer's hats to gray, and have a red shirt, brown bag, and navy pants. And for the Pokemon, their theme will collectively all be based on the Gigantamax Pokemon to highlight that main mechanic of this generation. Squirtle's coloration is going to be based on G-Max Blastoise, with it getting darker blue skin, a dark brown shell, light brown belly, and prominent neon blue eyes. Ivysaur will be based on G-Max Venusaur, with it getting a darker red bulb, darker green skin, and neon green eyes. And Charizard will obviously be based on Leon's Ace, being its Gigantamax form. It will share the white belly, blazing orange skin, and fiery bright orange eyes that it's well known for. Up next, we're going back to Gen 2 here, with my first female protagonist being based on Crystal from, well, Pokemon Crystal. Not only is her look unique with the bluish green hair, white jacket, red shirt, and yellow shorts, but she was also the first female Pokemon protagonist. My larger reason for the callback to Gen 2 though is for the Pokemon theming. I just want an alt that has all 3 starters with their modern shiny colorations at once. Gen 2 introduced shinies, and it should have them all there together. Shiny Squirtle is already in to an extent, along with shiny Ivysaur, so you could modify them a bit to more closely resemble their current shiny colors, and of course combine them with black shiny Charizard, which is one of the most memorable shinies of all time. We've got the old purple one, but now we just need this black one with a yellow belly and red underwings. I'd love to see this, and I wish it was under the Gen 2 selection of alts already. Okay, now for this next one, there's probably going to be a lot of people that hate this, and just as many or more people that love this idea, because it's going to be the only non-playable character out of the bunch, which kind of disrupts the theme, but I love this idea too much to leave it out, so I just want to talk about it. This idea is based on N from Gen 5. If I wasn't including a protagonist, I wanted to get a prominent character in the mix, and N, who in my opinion is one of, if not the best characters in franchise history, certainly fits this role. His black and white hat, green hair, white shirt, and beige pants would transition perfectly into a typical trainer, but why N though? How would it work well with the 3 starter Pokemon from Gen 1? Well, let's examine them. N's first Pokemon that he battles you with in black and white is a Purloin. We'll give Squirtle the purple, pink, and beige colors to base it off of, since it's the smallest of the 3 Pokemon. I think it makes sense to reference this to start. With Ivysaur being a quadruped, I think it would make sense to give it the color scheme of N's most memorable quadruped being Zorua. This is a dark gray Pokemon with red accents that's given to you by the sages in Pokemon Black and White too. And for Charizard, with it being a fire-breathing dragon and all, I think it would have to be based off of N's iconic fire-breathing dragon, Reshiram. Charizard will be almost entirely white with some orange accents to call back to Reshiram's fire. And the last alt that I'm going with here is definitely not as ambitious, but it still makes a lot of sense, with this being Dawn's Look from Pokemon Platinum. This would be the second Gen 4 protagonist alt, and I think that it's justified considering that all 3 of the Gen 4 games collectively have the 3rd most sales for a generation's main games. The alternate look for Squirtle is going to be based on the colors of Piplup, Dawn's signature Pokemon in the anime. These blue and white colors could also suit Squirtle very well. And while Dawn isn't known for using the other 2 starters, she can indeed use them in-game, and we're going to reference them here. The yellow and green of Grottle will be given to Ivysaur with a dark green bulb, and the white, red, and brown of Infernape will be given to Charizard, which I think would look really nice on it. Overall, I like these a lot, and I think it makes sense to give Gen 4 another alt. You never know when those Diamond and Pearl remakes may be on the horizon. And with all that being gone over, basically 4 characters in one there, we can finally move on to Diddy Kong. Being Big DK's trusty sidekick, there's gotta be some good alts in store here, right? Well, let's find out what he currently has. Aside from the default, the first look is based on Diddy's alternate outfit in the 2-player contest mode in Donkey Kong Country. The pink outfit resembles Dixie Kong, pretty self-explanatory there. Next we have this purple outfit, which is based on Diddy's appearance in Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy Kong's Quest 2-player contest mode. The green outfit resembles one of his alternate costumes from Donkey Kong 64's multiplayer mode. The blue outfit is based on Kiddy Kong, Dixie Kong's partner in Donkey Kong Country 3. The black alt seems to be based on a real-life chimpanzee, which is pretty cool. And finally, the light blue alt is based on Donkey Kong Jr. from DK Jr. Math. There are a bunch of interesting inspirations here, so let's see if we can live up to it with these new looks. The first new one I really want is an alt with a white shirt and J that's obviously inspired by Donkey Kong Jr. This is going to be DK Jr.'s standard look and not the look given to him from the Math game. Since Diddy kind of replaced DK Jr. as Donkey Kong's main sidekick, I think another reference to him here would be fantastic. Following that, we're going to have a couple of alts based on characters from Diddy Kong Racing. While Nintendo didn't develop that game, Diddy does star in it, and I feel deserves to be hinted at least. With the first one being light green and yellow based on Crunch. Following that, the next one is going to be a yellow and blue outfit based on Pipsy the Mouse. And finally, a darker red, sort of maroon colored alt based on Wizpig, the main villain of Diddy Kong Racing. I feel these won't just look pretty good, but are also very fitting. Moving on to one of the most interesting inclusions in Brawl, being the protagonist of the Japanese-only release Mother 3, Lucas. Let's see what they got for him in the alts department. Excluding the default look, the first one is based on Klaus, Lucas's brother. The blue and orange alt that follows this is a Smash Original, and next the red alt is a Smash Original as well. The gray alt after this is really cool as well, as it has the masked man on the shirt, but Porky's coloration is the likely reason for the gray skin. Up next we have the blue alt, which is a reference to Duster. The green shirt is a reference to when Boney disguises as a human in Mother 3, with the sprite of his head being placed on it, and finally the purple shirt is a reference to the baby Dragos, as the sprite of one of them is plastered right in the middle of it. Overall, some cool ideas here. I knew there would likely be a couple of originals due to there only being 1 game's worth of material, but it's still pretty nice overall. Let's try to come up with some new ones. The first new alt we're going to give Lucas has a blue shirt with pink hair being based on Kumatora, a pretty important character throughout Mother 3. Following that, we're going to have a white and brown outfit resembling the look of Facade, one of the antagonists in Mother 3. Now we can't have Facade without Salsa the Monkey, so in a similar style to the Boney and Drago outfits, we're going to have a brown shirt with a small logo of Salsa's face right on the front of it. And finally, we'll have a pink and light purple colored alt based on the look of the Pig Troopers, common enemies in Mother 3, and I also think this color scheme would look really nice on Lucas. Moving on to one of the big ones here, this being Sonic the Hedgehog. Many have been very disappointed in his Smash implementation, but are results just as underwhelming? Let's find out. After the default, the first one is based on Knights from Sega's Knights into Dreams title. This lighter blue alt is based on the coloration of classic Sonic. The gray alt is based on Silver the Hedgehog, although I don't believe this reference was done to the best possibility. The black alt is meant to resemble Dark Sonic from Sonic X. The alt with the yellow shoes and bracelets might be a reference to the bracelets that Silver wears, but that could be a stretch. The alt with orange shoes is reminiscent of the hand sprite that appears when you pass through one of the checkpoints in Sonic 2. And finally, the alt with the green shoes slightly bears resemblance to his look in Sonic the Hedgehog 1. So yeah, suffice to say that there are many disappointing looks here, many of which that are nearly identical outside of a few slight changes to shoes and wristbands. We have to do something good with the new ones, right? So my first new alt is going to be pretty obvious, but I've got to do it, and this is a Tails alt. That iconic yellow tannish color along with the white on his belly and face will create a nice looking costume that nearly everyone playing the game can immediately recognize. The next one is going to be a mostly red alt that references Knuckles, another famous character that's been playable in the series for several installments. This one will be mostly red and white with peach colors filling in the rest. Following that, we're going to have a pink, red, and black alt being based on Amy, a character with a love interest in Sonic that again is very recognizable, one of the icons from the series. These three all change the color drastically from the others that are currently in the game, and they're almost no-brainer picks that I've got to include because they're normally the types of alts that we expect to be in the game already. My last alt is a bit more unique as we're going to get a coloration based on Rouge the Bat. Yeah, we could go with a shadow alt, but we already have a black one, and the same thing is the case for Silver. While those references aren't perfect and may not even be intentional as far as I know, Rouge is definitely a memorable character as well, and this would provide a unique look with the light gray, pink, and black combination. Moving on to the character who is surprisingly number 39 in the list of newcomers instead of getting in right alongside his Kirby series brethren Meta Knights. Regardless of his numerical placement though, we love King Dedede, and let's see if his alts serve that same love. Aside from his default look, the first pink and purple alt is based on one of his alternate colors in Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards multiplayer mode. The green outfit resembles one of his alternate costumes in Kirby Air Ride. Following that, we have an alt based on another costume from Air Ride, this time with some purple in it. The cyan alt features icons that are identical to one of the menu schemes in Kirby 64. The completely grayscaled alt resembles his appearance in the Game Boy title Kirby's Dream Land. Following that, we have an alt based on one of his alternate colors in Kirby 64's multiplayer mode. And last but not least, the black outfit, which like a couple of others resembles a costume from Kirby Air Ride. There's a lot of hit or miss here with Dedede, some that I absolutely love and some that I feel just kind of miss the mark from my personal taste. So for the first new one, I want to go with a coloration based on Shadow Dedede. This one looks so cool, being inspired by his appearance in Kirby Triple Deluxe. The black, white, and red combination just works so well on him in my opinion. Next, we're going to have a new rendered alt based on Masked Dedede from Kirby Triple Deluxe. I think this is a pretty memorable look from that game. Following that, we're going to have a white, brown, red, and green outfit based on Taranza, one of the antagonists in Triple Deluxe who later becomes an ally to Kirby in the series. I got a lot of requests for this one. And finally, we're going to have a new silver, black, and gold coloration with a purple cape being based on Meta Knight's look. Not only does this reference another prominent character from the series, but it also gives the king a purple cape, which is a conventional royal color and I think fits really well. Moving on to the space exploring Olimar, who shares alts with Alph this time around. Let's take a look at their costumes. The red and black outfit, along with the green outfit that follows it, appear to be originals for Smash. The next costume takes elements from two of Olimar's costumes from Brawl, which were both based on a Navy Mark IV spacesuit and Louis from Pikmin 2 respectively. The next alts are based on Alph from Pikmin 3. His first original look is green and it's based on Charlie, Alph's captain in Pikmin 3. The pink look is based on Brittany, a co-worker of his from that game. And the final new alt is based on Olimar's suit from Pikmin 1. When it comes to new ideas here, we could pick a third character to make 4 alts for, but in this case, I think it's a lot more likely that Olimar and Alph get 2 more each, so let's start with Olimar. And the first new alt that I want for him is going to be a green and blue one based on the color scheme of Louis, the co-worker of Olimar in Pikmin 2. We have Louis as a partial inspiration for an alt, but I think he deserves a full-on one. The second Olimar one is going to be bringing back a cut costume from the past, with this being the yellow and black outfit from Brawl. This was a very unique looking Smash original that I think would add to the overall variety of the costumes if brought back. Moving on to Alph, where we're going to give him a purple outfit with green hair. This is going to be based on character D, an unused 4th captain that was planned to appear in Pikmin 3 but eventually got scrapped. And finally, we're going to have a purple outfit based off of the memorable purple Pikmin. It mainly serves us to give us a darker color scheme for Alph considering the large amount of light ones that he has, and yes, the inspiration is a little weaker, but I'd really like this color scheme. Moving on to Lucario, and on the surface it may not seem like that bad of a selection, but only 2 of these colorations seems to be based on something. So let's go over them. The purple coloration is an original. The light blue is likely based on Riolu, the pre-evolution to Lucario, a nice inspiration. The black alt along with the dark teal alt are both originals. The darker blue color is likely based on his appearance in the Pokemon anime since he's slightly darker in the show, and it could also be based on Riley's outfit as well, the human companion to Lucario. And the green and pink alts seem to be originals for Smash as well. Yes, it's really that bad. But as we're going to see with these new ideas, there was still a lot of source material that could have been drawn from, so let's craft some new costumes here. The first one that I'm picking King should come as a surprise to absolutely nobody, since I'm going with a yellow coloration based on shiny Lucario. It's definitely not my favorite shiny or anything like that, but it's a nice lighter color to change things up with a good inspiration behind it. Following that, we're gonna have a red alt based on his alternate color scheme in Pokémon Tournament. It's also not currently used in any of the alts, so I think it adds some variety. Next up, we're going to give Lucario his white costume from Brawlback, since it was a pretty unique look for him that unfortunately got cut. There doesn't seem to be much to any inspiration here, but if you really want to stretch it, we could say it's based on Arceus, one of the main mythical Pokemon in Gen 4. The same origin generation as Lucario. And finally, we're going to have a black and red alt to be based on Zoroark, whose evolution family, surprisingly, he's getting a second mention in this video. This is mainly because Lucario and Zoroark have many similarities, not only in their physical form, but also because Lucario was one of the main promotional Pokemon prior to the launch of Gen 4, and Zoroark received that role for Gen 5. With both of them being in pre-release movies and all, it makes a lot of sense and would look really cool. Moving on to a pretty strange inclusion in the roster of Brawl, with this being everyone's favorite robotic operating buddy, R.O.B. Even though him getting in was pretty unexpected, nowadays it'd be pretty tough to imagine Smash without him, so let's see how he fares in the alt department. The base color for R.O.B. actually depends on which region you're playing the game in. I'm sure most of you watching this recognize the default to be the gray look, which is based on the western version of R.O.B. for the NES. But in Japan, the default is the red and faded yellow look, which is based on the Famicom. A nice touch. The third alt is a more prominently yellow one, being based on Spike, an enemy from the game Stack Up. The pink alt is based on Flipper, another enemy from the game. The dark blue alt is commonly thought to be either based on the Indigo GameCube or the blue Game Boy Advance SP. Next up, the green alt is based on the R.O.B. launcher from Brawl Subspace Emissary. Following that is a light blue alt that's basically a mirror of the dark blue alt's color scheme, but it could also be thought of as based on the Pearl Blue Game Boy Advance SP. And finally, we have the red alt, which resembles Nintendo's best console, the Virtual Boy. In terms of some new looks, one that I really think would look good is a red and blue combination, being based on the common Joy-Con colors for the Nintendo Switch, with gray filling in the rest since it's the default Joy-Con color aside from those two. That sticks with the theme of some of the various consoles. And one more console-based alt, with this being the purple of the default GameCube. Not only does this provide a new color for R.O.B., but this console specifically still has a controller that many love to use for Smash Bros, so it makes a lot of sense to reference this console specifically. Moving on to other inspirations, I think it would be cool to have a dark green and maroon color scheme based on the Ancient Minister, the main antagonist for a large portion of Brawl Subspace Emissary mode. And finally, this is a pretty unique idea here, so hear me out, but what about a yellow and blue costume based on Bite and Bark from ARMS? These are two recent robot characters who have a series representative in Smash, and with R.O.B. being one of the oldest Nintendo robot characters, I think it would be a great mesh of both the old and the new. And isn't that what Smash is all about? I understand if people are against that idea, I just think it would be really interesting. The next character in the video is Toon Link, an interesting idea to include as a second Link by sort of replacing young Link in the style of his appearance in Wind Waker. The following red, blue, and purple colors are meant to resemble the Link colors in the Four Swords games. Nice references. Then we have the coloration with brown sleeves that resembles Link's look in the original Legend of Zelda, and also the beta design of Toon Link for Wind Waker. Following that is a really cool looking black alt with red eyes. That's the typical Dark Link look that all of them have, not complaining though. Then we have a look that resembles Link's tunic with the blue ring equipped in the original Legend of Zelda. And finally we have a coloration based on his appearance in A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds. These are some memorable looks here, so let's craft some more. The first new alt I really want to see is a coloration based on Toon Link's Outset Island look in Wind Waker. I feel this would be a pretty fitting costume. Following that, we're gonna get one based on the train engineering clothes for Toon Link, based on his appearance in Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. Then I think a red, blue, and white outfit would be cool to represent the King of Red Lions from Wind Waker. And finally, I just really like to see a pink outfit for Link here, and I think it could be based on Ankle's colors, with him being one of the brothers of Tingle, a common character to see in the series. Moving on to one of my favorite characters that was brought back to Smash Ultimate, with this being Wolf. He's such a cool looking character, enhanced further this time around with his default appearance being based on his look in Star Fox Zero. Moving on to the first alt, where we have a brown outfit based on his colors in Starlink Battle for Atlas, a very interesting recent reference. Following that is an alt with a red jacket being based on the outfit of Andrew, one of Wolf's team members in Star Fox Assault. The blue outfit is based on the Player 2 coloration in Star Fox Assault, and a similar inspiration is also the case with the green alt up next, with it being based on the Player 4 outfit in Assault vs. mode. The orange outfit up next appears to be an original for the game. Then there's a really cool looking black outfit that bears resemblance to his appearance in Star Fox 2. I like this look a lot. Then we got the pink outfit, which is based on Pigma, one of the most famous members from Team Starwolf, another one which I kinda like. There's some nice looks for Wolf here, so let's see if we could keep up with the good trends for costumes. The first new alt I'd like to see is a gray and blue jacket, based on his appearance in Brawl, which was based on Wolf's look in Star Fox Command. While I really enjoy the new look of Wolf in Smash Ultimate, there's no denying that the Brawl one was great as well, and I'd at least like to see it as an optional appearance in the DLC role. Following that, we're gonna have a green and purple alt based on Leon from Team Starwolf. This one makes a lot of sense. Then I think it would be cool to have a black, purple, and silver alt based on Panther, another member of Team Starwolf. And last but not least, we're gonna have a white outfit alt with red accents that serves many purposes. First of all, this alt is going to be mainly based on the original look of Andross, the main villain of the franchise. Second, it provides a callback to one of my favorite alts of his from Brawl with a similar look. And lastly, it provides a contrast to the Dark Fox alt with a Light Wolf alt, which I think is a nice touch. Man, that's a lot of alts, oh my. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at some of the new ideas that I've had, and if you're interested in a future Smash 4 episode, let me know by leaving a like on this video. If enough of you want to see it, we'll make it happen. Special thanks to all of you who left suggestions for costumes in the comments of the Melee episode, and for sticking around with me for all this time. I know it's been a long wait. I've been super busy, so it's hard to put out videos of this scale very often, and your support means the world to me. Remember to subscribe with notifications on to make sure that you do not miss my newest videos, and with all that being said, I'll see you next time.